Hello, all my fellow fun players out there. It's Are You Kidding Me here, and today we're going to be doing a tutorial on how to set up your very own Xbox controller to use with your PokerStars client. So there's a lot of good hotkey features in PokerStars, and with a nice little program called Joytokey, which you can download below right here. I'm going to try to put the button here somewhere. You will be able to basically map the keys from the Xbox controller to whatever key you want. So we're gonna have it set up with specific shortcut keys in mind, and then use those in the Stars hotkey function to kind of set up all our bets and stuff like that. Basically, it feels like almost once a week at the very least I'm getting a question about this when people see me kind of, about this far away from my computer playing, just kind of hanging out like this. So, I'm kind of hoping that with this video, you'll see it's not too easy, not too difficult once you get the hang of it, or once you kind of have some of the, the Joytokey program and an idea of how you want to set it up. So I will have my Dropbox link below here with my profile and the Joytokey program, but I definitely wouldn't fault you if you wanted to get Joytokey direct yourself, because it is a program that's kind of doing some mouse actions and stuff like that. If you did want to map your own profile after, this is how I have it set up. So as you'll see, there's kind of settings for stick 1 and stick 2. So stick 1 is your left joystick, and that's basically going to be the joystick under my left thumb. And what we have that one set up for is to go super quick with the mouse cursors. And the reason why we do that is just so we can kind of jump from table to table. We don't want to kind of be going with the right cursor speed, which is about half the speed, because this is kind of slow getting around, right? Like, look at what's going on there. It's so slow. But we want to kind of jump from one table to the other to kind of make our actions, right? So you kind of see me playing. Basically, my cursor just kind of almost always going back and forth like this when I play. So yeah, those are kind of the two cursor speeds we have set up. The other kind of important ones is the right bumper. So the right bumper is like the equivalent of our left mouse click. So we can use this select on and select just about anything, right? So if we want to hover over this and select this, boom, done, no problem, right? So that's an important one. And then last but not least are the triggers. So we use left trigger to go down and right trigger to scroll up. So again, we could use that in just about any program, right? Here we got that bar, so we can scroll up and down. Here we can scroll down and up with it, right? This is important for the bet sliders. So the other one that's kind of hard in here is the back button is set as Control S. So this is a shortcut in Stars to kind of add a similar table. So for spin and goes, this is good because we could just kind of go over one table and then just one click and register for another one. So it's kind of nice and convenient that way if you misclicked one of the other buttons or something like that. I couldn't fault you if you wanted to remove that one. So if you're a little worried about adding a table and stuff like that, then by all means you can remove that one from the profile. So, and yeah, that's kind of the important ones. The next up is like, all the other keys are kind of mapped. You'll notice if you look at the profile that we actually do have the keys all kind of set with like a Control, Shift, and then a keystroke. Like maybe it looks like a number for all of these. So we do this because most programs use Control and a keystroke for shortcuts. So we don't want to kind of interfere with the existing shortcuts in Stars because it can create some problems maybe. So using that, I've never really had any problems. So yeah, that's why we have them that way. And let's get into it. So, now that you got your controller all set up, you can kind of play on some windows to see that everything is working properly. If you want, you can even open just some mouse pad and go from there. Notepad, sorry, and go from there. But yeah, we're going to go to settings, and I'm actually going to go through just kind of some of the important settings. So kind of want to go under gameplay. And first things first, I like having the bet slider set to adjust size by small blind. And I'm not sure if any of these mouse options are on, but this is how I have these set. So this kind of allows us to use the right trigger to scroll the bet bar up and the left down. So it's kind of nice. You could also set up these buttons. These might be set. These might just be the default ones. I'm not even too sure. We'll kind of go to the hotkeys last here. So last is these multi-table. These are the options that I have set up. I just find it's what works good for me. I think allow registration without the buy-in dialog is kind of the nicest one because that's what gets you like those one-click ones. And don't steal focus is always kind of nice too, because, you know, we don't really need that. And advance, I'm not sure what the defaults are on these, but again, I'm just kind of showing you guys how mine's set up because maybe you'll want to know. But pretty well, what's the most important is the hotkeys here. So as you'll see, I already gotten all these hotkeys, and because I'm just so confident with how quick and easy this is, we're just going to remove these all. So we kind of have our Xbox controller set up. It's all plugged in, and we're kind of ready to go. So first thing we want to do is kind of set up the most important ones, right? So fold, call, raise, right? That's what we come to do. So what you're going to do is select the action, go to the hotkey. So you want to select this box, and you're just going to press the button on the controller. So I use the X button on my Xbox controller. You'll see it actually maps it to that shortcut key that we use. So Control-Shift-6. We're going to click Add. Bada bing, bada boom. It's right in there. No problem. Next up, we'll want to do like check call. So again, I like to use the yellow button, the Y. So we're going to click that. It maps it to the shortcut. We click Add. And last but not least, we're going to be doing the bet button. So we're going to go bet raise. Click the button. We want the B. Maps that shortcut. And add. So we're kind of all set. Really, I mean, if you didn't care to have bet sizing set up, you're actually all set to go, right? That's kind of the most important stuff. But you know us, we like to be a little bit more prepared. So next up, we want to set the bet amounts. So I prefer to use set bet amount as opposed to bet X amount. So big difference being is that once you click this button, that's it. So you're kind of committed to that bet amount. So I'd rather, you know, have the set bet amount. If you've seen me play, you've seen that number in the box probably just looks like it's doing a bunch of badness, because very often I'll use the directional pad here to set up my bet sizing, and I have like left from smallest and then going around clockwise to largest. So I'll kind of just be playing with it while looking at the numbers and thinking about what bet size. So we go with set bet amount to size of the pot. Again, I like to use the left D-pads for the smallest, so we're going to press that one. Happens to be Shift 2, and I like to have like 40% as my small bet. Next up, we want to kind of have our next size up bet, so we're going to press up. We're going to set this one to 50%. Click Add. Next up, sometimes I'm feeling in the mood for a little bit more, so we like to go 67%, and this is going to be for the right directional pad. Whoops, did a little double click there. And last but not least, down. Sometimes 67% just ain't gonna cut it. I'm gonna want 75. So boom, done. Now you're saying, but Chris, what if I want to go all in? Good question. I like to have the start button, the one kind of located closest to the X button here. That's kind of my all-in bet size. So whoops. You see, if you do press a number, it will actually give you like random hotkey here instead of I didn't press my hotkey. So we're going to press the hotkey. So we got this Control-Shift, and I like to just put this to 9999. Boom. So these are kind of all of our bet sizes. We're all set to go. We want to click Apply Changes. Last but not least, these settings here, I'm not sure what the default is. Guys, I've been using this for like 5 years or something like that. So I can't remember what the defaults are. So basically, I have mine set to go table under the mouse. I think active window just means you have to click the table to get it to work, but I just rather have the table under the mouse. So that way, like I said, I could just fire left to right real quick with the joystick 1. And then you could select the color here for whatever you want the table to be. I just happen to have green. So yeah, and that's it. You're kind of all set to, like, you know, go and chillax and play a couple games now. You know, I'd probably fire up a few little ones till you get used to it, but I think it's, you know, it's kind of a nice little way to hang out and play some poker sometime. We don't always need to be hovering right over the keyboard. Says me, now that I'm like twitching and on stream more often, I am typing a lot more. But you know, it's a kind of nice little, I like it because it gives me a little bit difference, right? I find if I use the mouse all day, it can start to hurt the wrist. I find if I use this all day, my hands can cramp up, right? So it kind of gives you some flexibility, and you know, that's what's nice. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and be sure to like the video if you liked it. Let me know, share it with your friends, and we'll try to keep some more of this stuff coming.